Good day, students. Today we will discuss about binary multiplication. Before we proceed, I need you to take note that there are 4 steps to be followed. Here are the steps. 0 times 0 is always equal to 0. 1 times 0 is equal to 0. 0 times 1 is equal to 0. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. The only time that you get the answer 1 is when you multiply 1 and 1. Also take note that there is no carry or borrow for this. By the way, class, if you multiply a lot of binary digits, there's a need for you to also add them. Tendency is, even if this is multiplication, there are also instances in which you may need to perform addition. Let's check out this example. We have here 9 times 5. If you this is 9 times 5 is equal to 45. These are actually the decimal values of these binary numbers. So 1001 times 101. How do we solve that? We solve it just like how we solve decimal numbers. Of course, we start from the right. So we have, by the way, those highlighted in red are the answers, and this one, this set of numbers highlighted in bold red is the final answer. So let's start. So it's actually shown here, but I just made a table for you to easily understand it. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 again is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. Because if you remember the rule, the only time you will get the answer 1 in multiplication is when you do 1 times 1. Now let's move on to the next number, which is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. So it's done twice here. That's why we have 0, 0, and 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0 times 1 is still 0. Now let's go to the last digit, which is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 0 is 0. So it's done twice here. That's why we have 2 zeros. And 1 times 1 again, whenever you multiply 1 and 1, the answer is always 1. Now, after getting all these answers, it's time to add them. In this case, we bring down 1, then we put 0 here, we put 1 here, bring down 1, we put 0, we bring down 1. That's why we get 101101, which is actually equivalent to decimal 45. In this case, let us not forget to put the radix 10, since this is a decimal number. Okay, now I have successfully added the radix 10. Let's put it in our other conversion as well. Okay, so this is for emphasis, class. Okay, good. Now let's proceed to the next example. This is the next example. We have 1011 times 101, or 11 times 5, which is equal to 55. Let's start. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. It's done twice. That's why we have 2 ones here. 1 times 0 is of course 0, and 1 times 1 is 1. Let's proceed to the next digit, which is 0, because again we solve it from our right to left. 0 times 1 is 0. It's done twice here. That's why we have 2 zeros. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 1 is still 0. Now let's proceed to the last digit, which is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. It's done twice here. So let's put 1 and 1 here. Okay, again, it's 1 times 1, 1 times 1. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 1 is again 1. Now that we got all the answers, it's time to add them. In this case, we only bring down 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. If you remember the rule, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 in this case is, again, if we add 1 and 1, the answer is 0, but then we need to carry 1. So 1 and 1 here, we have here 0, but we need to carry 1. So it's not shown here, but there's actually a 1 that is in here instead of 0, because again 1 plus 1 is 0, carry 1. Now class, the value now becomes 1 instead of 0. That's why when you do, or when you solve it, you will solve it as 1 plus 0, then you will get 1. 1 here should be carried down. Then you put 0 here. Now the answer is 11 or 1 1. You don't say 11. These are binary digits, so you say 1 1 0 1 1 1. As I've said in my previous videos, 0 before 1, that's given. I mean, 0 before 1 actually does not change the value of the binary digit. Of course, given that the numbers before it are all zeros. So if you will check this, you will get the decimal value of 55. That's when you know that you got the correct answer or conversion. Now class, I need to add the radix here because as what I've mentioned, we need to add the radix all the time when we convert binary to decimal and vice versa. Okay, let's convert it first. Okay class, that's all for today. I hope you are able to learn something in this session. Again, this is binary multiplication. If you want to learn more, I suggest you practice more and try to solve some problems in relation to binary multiplication. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. You take care.